there was a period, all of the 1970s and into the early 1980s when the hardest routes in the world were all cracks, and nobody had even looked between the cracks. But in 1985, there was a lot that happened. The idea of putting bolts in on rappel, the idea of the face climbing actually started. That opened up a bunch of things. It was really funny because I actually had no idea what climbing was about, and I really honestly thought, I was like, where's the grappling hook? Like, how are we doing this? I had no idea, it was just fingers and toes. And it seemed to suit me pretty naturally like that very first day, and then I saw Jeff Pedersen down below, and he was climbing with a couple of his friends, and they were bouldering right there at the gate. And that looked really fun to me. Like, it was just like they were having fun, just like figuring out problems on these little rocks, and it was all strength and coordination related, and that really resonated from the very first day I was exposed to the sport. So we were climbing on quartzite. We were climbing on quartzite in Rock Canyon. And the guys in Provo, Jeff Pedersen, myself, Bart Donachie, there was a bunch of people, Steve Crandall, like we were trying hard. Late 1987. One day I was riding we were going like off-roading, like Jeep style, up behind American Fort Canyon, and ran into a place called the Hörst.
There's this awesome place in this canyon called Hörst, and it's actually not that far. You just kind of keep going up the canyon, you take some dirt roads. It's a little bit of an adventure. Up there, it's incredible.
It's actually quartzite, not limestone like this, and it's probably the best quartzite
in the United States. The rock quality is bullet hard, and there are routes from 5.4 to 14C.
Boone and me way before any of this. And at the time, the mid-'80s, we were not looking for what the curse would become later, difficult sport climbing.
So one day Jeff Pedersen and I in late 1987 went up and I showed him the curse, and it looked very familiar because it was quartzite, and it was obviously good rock climbing, you know, and there was some little short things that we could throw a top rope on and kind of boulder, and that looked very familiar. And to fast forward, 20 years later, those little short things that we were going to throw a top rope on, that we tried to throw a top rope on initially, turned out to be 514 plus. James Litz finally went up and did, like the spike, for instance, and it was like, these things are 45 degrees overhanging. They were impossible to top rope. I mean, we needed to put bolts into them, but we got like those were opportunities for us to find new rock climbing in Utah.
Up at Hörst, we put up this line kind of on the main wall that just goes up through a super, super steep section of crack. And we thought, sure, we brought the rack up, let's give it a go. And it was just awesome to see. And it kind of opened up my mind for all the potential that there still is up here in Ant Canyon and up at Hörst Wall specifically. It's just an inspiring place to be at 10, 11,000 feet and be climbing that quality of stone. Up at Hörst Wall, there's not only is there sport climbing, trad climbing, but there's actually quite a few boulders, and there's getting to be a bigger and bigger bouldering scene up there.
Once you get up further in the canyon, it's a lot different. There's not any limestone. It's very high quality quartzite. There's a huge amount of potential. Definitely a change of pace from the rest of the canyon. For what's there, it's definitely a good time. The boulder problems that are there are definitely worth a trip. For local climbers, it's great to kind of change the pace, get a little bit of a different style. There's some fun boulder problems, and there's nobody up there at all. So on a busy day where you don't feel like potentially waiting in line for a climb, that's the place to go.